I know you guys like it when I compare cameras to phones. So we got the iPhone 16 Pro Max we're filming on now. And we've got the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II here. All right, so the iPhone did a much better job under this thing for that little snowman. It looked better. It just looked better. I couldn't get this camera to really focus on the snow because it was so white. It overexposes everything. The highlights are all blown out. I know I'm mean. I know there's some people that can take great photos with these cameras. It's Micro Four Thirds. I know I'm being judgmental on them. But from what I'm used to with full frame, Sony, Canon, or even Fuji, this is just not there. It's just not it. Another problem with Olympus is the audio. The preamps are horrendous, so you get this terrible noise, background noise. So yeah, I despise Olympus right now. Like, I can't stand this camera. I hate that it cut out the video I was filming last night because I've had some good tricks. This lens just isn't long enough for wildlife. It's really just for portraits. It's not wide enough for any street photography. You're just gonna be doing portraits with this thing. This camera is also so sticky. What is it with used cameras? Every one I get is sticky. It's like the fragments of that person left on it. I don't know, it's gross. So I like long lenses, but I'm finding in those instances, it's just not long enough. And in other instances, it's too tight, you know? You're like, oh, well, get a zoom. Well, this lens does feel good. The quality feels good. And what is this? Is that a rabbit? What is that print? And also the photos are great. Like, it's sharp. Got a nice hole in the fence here. Again, this video is mostly to me. Just don't get Micro Four Thirds again. I'm shooting raw and the images still don't have any dynamic range. Just don't do it. This is for me, not anybody else. I find myself leaving this camera on just because the off-on switch is on the other side. So I can't really turn it with my right hand. I have to use both hands, use my left hand, which is holding other things. Luckily, it does have a really good battery. I'm having a hard time not dropping my phone out here. What's wrong with me? That's a me problem. Who is talking that loud? I've been wanting to do more photo type videos on this page, more video, but it's pretty snowy and freezing. So I don't really get out that much in the winter just because when I get off work, it's basically dark outside. So I've been doing some reaction videos to kind of hold me over, but hopefully we'll be able to get out more soon. The flaring is quite bad on this lens. Getting a lot of bright red flares. It's way too tight for anything over here. Maybe I'll be able to get some pictures of some graffiti over there. So over here, it'd be nice to have like a really wide lens just to capture all this. So that's what I have the phone for, to show this massive parking garage I used to skate in. It's been torn down. What do you guys think of this camera? Let me know in the comments section below. I know a lot of you guys probably shoot Olympus, and you're probably really mad at me for all the things I've been saying about this camera. It's just been frustrating for me. And again, this video is for me, just to make sure I don't buy this camera again, because it's so beautiful and so tempting. And this 75, it's like the best looking lens I've ever seen. Such a beautifully made lens. So I was actually able to get some decent wildlife photos of a squirrel just now. So that went well. This camera did better than my phone for that by far. It's not bad with a long lens for wildlife, since it's got that 1x crop. You know, it's 150 millimeter lens. If you have a longer lens, like a 300, 400 millimeter, it's not that bad. A little soft because it's Micro Four Thirds, but it's not bad. So there's so many annoying things about this camera. I just cannot really figure out this menu. I don't know if this person set it up to be like this or if this is just stock what it's like. So whenever I go in to look at a menu item, it pops down like the definition of what I'm looking at and what that does. And that is just so annoying. I can't read the menu because of these little pop-up things. All right, so here's the 5X lens on the iPhone. The cool thing about this lens in this test with the iPhone is the iPhone 5X lens is basically the same focal distance as this 75, because this 75 is on a micro four thirds sensor, so it's 150 millimeters, and that's what we've got on the iPhone 5X. So this EM1 Mark II was super cheap, but it's falling apart and it's stabbing me in the finger. So the iPhone is more convenient because I couldn't get a photo of this with this camera from this side of the street. I'd have to go over on the other side. Taking those photos of that little Santa Claus in the window made me realize what a good portrait lens this actually is. So both of these have great stabilization for video. They're probably pretty similar in low light, honestly. I'd say the Olympus may be a little bit better in low light than the iPhone. Ooh, that's a good shot with a wide lens like this. You probably wouldn't want to use a tight lens like this for just daily shooting or street photography. It's too tight in most situations, but it's really good for portraits. It's probably one of my favorite portrait lenses. I think this lens is built better than any other lens I've ever used. So I couldn't get the flash to fire and the battery died. It's freezing. So the iPhone has a flash. They both have flashes, but I turned it on. This was probably a bad buy. All right, so I'm gonna go over everything I got with this OMD EM1 Mark II. Let me get the battery out first. So the battery door doesn't pop open very good. It's a huge battery, so big. Biggest battery I think I've ever had on a camera. Let's go ahead and charge this because it's dead and I want to test it out some more tonight. So this body I got pretty cheap for a little over $300, but it's kind of falling apart here on the grip. The lens was a little over $400. So it came with this nice little flash that did not work at all. Got to figure out why that doesn't work. The viewfinder is not the original viewfinder. It's a much deeper one. They've got on here. This is like the only camera I could keep these little flaps on and not really worry about them, these little camera strap flaps, because they're really out of the way. It's such a comfortable grip, even though it was stabbing me right here. It's falling apart all through here. It's falling apart on the bottom a little bit. A little scratched up. Definitely scratched up over here. And I'm not going to keep this just because it didn't tell me exactly how scratched up it was in the listing. The lens is beautiful. Best looking lens ever. All right, so it's kind of like a Fuji box almost. You got this little OMD instructions. This is for the flash. And what else do we have in here? Anything? A strap. This is the lens cap. Yeah, I think that's about it. Kind of boring. It's kind of like a Fuji box. Similar. So this lens is kind of heavy, but it's light for what it is, Being such a long lens, you're not going to be able to get anything from APS-C or full frame with a 1.8 that's that long of a lens that feels that light, but it still feels a little front heavy. The grip's okay. It fits all my fingers on it. A lot of grips my pinky hangs off, but this one kind of fits all of them on there. It's not a bad camera. It's not a bad looking camera. You know, it's not a Nikon ZF or a Fuji camera, but it's not that bad looking. The lens is beautiful. Imagine if you could put a lens like this on the Nikon ZF. It'd be beautiful.
Alright, so here's some images taken with this. This is not the best image. These are kind of cropped in a little bit. I'll have the full image towards the end of the video, but these are all kind of cropped in to fit the screen. That was a vertical image cropped in horizontally along with that, along with this. Just to kind of show, these are all raw images and they're not edited either. Alright, so yeah, it did decent on the squirrel. You know, it's not long enough if the squirrel was any farther away. I really just got lucky. I got lucky on these images. You're probably not going to get wildlife images like that on this lens, on this setup, unless you just get super lucky. I thought this was kind of a cool shot, but again, a longer lens would have been good for this. He was already kind of far away when I got those shots. I like reflections. I like, you know, looking through windows and stuff like that. This is just a quick walk. I've been sick all winter. It's been cold and snowing. So these are edited, turned black and white. So as you can see, it's pretty sharp. You know, I think it's a really sharp lens. It's good for street photography. If you're wanting to do like portraits kind of stuff, isolate the subject. It's not good for street photography if you're trying to see, you know, a whole building or something like that. I've got some iPhone photos in here too, but I haven't got to them yet. These are all Olympus. Here we go, iPhone. This was a different day. Had to go win a court case, suing somebody. And you can see the iPhone's got that ugly orange color, which is, I don't know why I have such hate for orange, but it doesn't handle the orange or the highlight fall offs very well. But if you turn those black and white, there'd be some decent photos. iPhone's sharp. I like the wide angle lens on the iPhone. Now we're back to Olympus. This was that first night I had it. You know, walking through downtown, just taking some pictures in the windows. You can see it's a good portrait lens. I don't really have anybody modeling for me or anything. Until here, I guess. This was when we were skating in the gym. Took a picture of some people. This is heavily edited. You can see it almost looks like a cartoon. That's a little less edited. Heavily edited there. Really cartoony. There's the Olympus shot of the snow. There's iPhone photo of a bird. And we're back to the Olympus. You can really tell. I don't have to tell you guys, you know. Unless you have never used a camera in your life, I think you can tell the difference between the iPhone and the Olympus. This Olympus is very sharp, very good shallow depth of field. The iPhone has shallow depth of field, but it's fake. Alright, so these are all Olympus. All edited from RAW. I didn't do much. Put them on my phone, put some filters on them, on Darkroom, not even Lightroom. Heavily edited picture of Zach. Turned him into Fabio. This is what he really looks like here. iPhone, night photo. Looks kind of like a cartoon, you know, not quite real. These are all iPhone. That's from the video when I said, oh, that would be a good shot. This is back to the Olympus. It's hard to tell. I don't even know. That's iPhone. Alright, so this is a picture I did not take, but it's a picture that was taken on the Olympus, and I edited it. Just messed around with the colors. Another one I did not take, edited it, messed around with the colors a little bit, just to see how they edit. iPhone photo here. Then we've got the squirrel. Okay, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, scroll through my channel, check out my other videos, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.